What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Let me know if I sound better or worse or about the same in this video. This is the first video that I'm doing with my new microphone. I understand that, people complain about how I sound with my other old microphone. So I bought this one, and I'm telling you, it's kind of difficult when you have a deep voice to find the right type of microphone that can carry or register your voice. Um, hopefully I sound better, a little bit clearer in this microphone. But let me know. So, Skip Bayless, all right? Skip Bayless of Fox Sports, of Undisputed. He has a podcast show now, I believe, that you can watch on YouTube. One of the first, uh, I think actually the first person that was on Skip Bayless's radar was not LeBron James. They didn't really start And he didn't really start going after LeBron James until maybe 2008-ish, maybe. I'd say 2009. That's when I remember him first going after LeBron. But his first person he really went after was Allen Iverson. All right. And this goes before he was on ESPN. This goes back to when he was a columnist. And of course, we all know Skip Bayless is the ultimate Michael Jordan fan, right? So, look, me being a Bulls fan, I kind of can relate to this. For the first 3 years of Allen Iverson's career, I did not like him. I didn't, and it was, I would say, 3 to 4 years. I didn't like him because I noticed that whenever the Philadelphia 76ers would go against the Bulls, he would constantly try to outscore Michael, right? Which is why I did that video the other day showing that he's the only opponent of Michael Jordan, the 983 opponents that Michael Jordan officially faced in his career, one-on-one generally. Allen Iverson is the only one that, in all of their contests, consistently outscored Michael Jordan. And of course, he had that moment when he put Michael Jordan on ice. All right. And as a Bulls fan, you had your eyes set on AI afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But and initially AI came across just personality wise as disrespectful, right? He told legends, "Get out of my face, shut up." Uh, he was disrespectful. But I think that was just as we grew to observe Allen Iverson. That was just his demeanor on the court. He was a very competitive guy. He wasn't out there trying to make friends. He wanted to slit your fucking throat. And then as we observed Allen Iverson, you grew to respect him because you grew to see certain aspects of his game that you admire. Not it's not like today where all these guys get all these platitudes and they aren't really deserving of them. AI, man, he came out there. He was only 5'11", really, maybe 6 feet. I think he's 5'11 and a half. He's 160 pounds, but he was playing like he was 6'10". And then the way that he would play with such ferocity and such fearlessness, going to the basket. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give a fuck if Shaq was down there. He didn't care if Mount Mutombo was down there. He didn't care if Lonzo Mourning was down there. He didn't care if, Jason Williams, the big man Jason Williams was down there with the Nets. He didn't care what center was down there. He was going to take that motherfucker to the baskets and caution be damned. And he thought he could shoot over any double team. And when you look at what Allen Iverson was able to do in his NBA career, he averaged better than 26 points a game. And when you consider the fact that, in his prime, he really didn't play with another great player. He did not play with another great player. Even Michael Jordan got to play with Scottie Pippen. He didn't play with another great player. And he didn't play with on a team in his prime that had shooters. So even in the era where the spacing isn't like it is today, even in that era, the Sixers spacing was terrible. But AI was still able to average better than 26 points a game in the regular season and 20 no 30 points a game, I think, uh, in his playoff career. He's a phenomenal scorer. Now, he didn't have the best field goal percentage, but you got to take the era, you got to take his size, all those things into account. The teams he played in the playoffs, you got to take all those things into account. The, you know, but Skip Bayless, who used to be his number one detractor, has said that he had him wrong. He had him wrong, man. He viewed AI from the prism of, as he put it, a biased mindset, a primitive mindset, uh, or outdated mindset, I guess I should say. Whereas, he looked at certain things and just viewed them bad. The tattoos, the hair, the hip hop culture. He thought that he was bringing something negative to the game. Where in reality, these are some of the reasons why we hold Allen Iverson, so endeared. You know, AI brought hip hop culture to the NBA. He made it popular, right? He's the first one to really. Yeah, Robin had tattoos, but Robin was more of a Robin was more of the grunge culture. AI really made tattoos popular in the NBA. It was Allen Iverson who was the first one to come out there with the cornrows and the blown out afro. And then you saw a whole bunch of clones afterward. Everybody else, started rocking the afros or the cornrows in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was the influence that Allen Iverson had. Allen Iverson was the first one to come to games wearing what we would call hip hop apparel. Before that, it was very popular to wear suits. People, came to the games wearing suits or casual clothing in the Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson type, vein. But it was Allen Iverson who was the first one to come out there and be more, hip hop, be himself. And as a consequence, David Stern, targeted Allen Iverson with the mandates and the guidelines as far as what these players should wear. And it's ridiculous because now these players wear whatever the fuck they want to wear now. These guys wear some of the most ridiculous shit you can think of now. But Allen Iverson was so targeted by these rules. you know. And last but not least, it was AI who wore the baggy shorts. It was AI who made it popular to have all the accessories and the headbands and the sleeves, as if he was going to war, going to battle, and that's how he looked at it. And that's why Allen Iverson had so much respect around the NBA. And I will say this: I don't give a fuck who doesn't agree with me. I find this to be true. Allen Iverson, I believe, while he's not as great as LeBron James historically, I think that he had more respect from players, actual genuine respect from players in the NBA than LeBron James. You see the way they was chirping at LeBron, those players of the Memphis Grizzlies talking shit to him, talking trash, and he got to like fucking growl and beg for respect. They wouldn't talk to AI like that. They weren't gonna talk to Kobe like that. They weren't gonna talk to Jordan like that because there was that respect level, you know. Yeah, they might talk a little trash, but not to the extent that they do him, man. So at the end of the day, Skip Bayless, it is what it is with this dude, man. Some of it I think is not revisionism, but some of it is with Skip Bayless. I think it's looking uh, looking at things in hindsight through rose-colored glasses, you know. But things that you have to respect about AI was his humility, which is something that a guy like LeBron doesn't possess. His compassion, and he is a guy that's a really, really good dude. When you really look at some of the things that he would do, but it didn't get publicized because he didn't want to fucking pat on the back publicly. Um, Although those things ended up hurting him. Yes, he had his problems. No one's perfect, but at the end of the day, uh, AI is a champion. He's a Hall of Famer, and I'm glad at least Skip Bayless has come to the party as far as being an admirer of Allen Iverson, albeit late. But tell me what you guys think.